What if the queens of K-drama were hiding more than just scripts and secrets? In this video, we explore the rumors they never denied, the glances that sparked headlines, and the chemistry that made audiences wonder. Is it just acting, or is there something real between the lines? More than anything, this isn't about labels, it's about celebrating the beauty of love in all its forms, no matter who you are or who you love. So as you watch, we invite you to reflect. Which story moved you most, and what does it say about the world we live in? To the world, Yeri is the youngest spark in the Red Velvet constellation, bright-eyed, unpredictable, and naturally charismatic. She burst onto the K-pop scene at 16, joining a group that exploded with success. But instead of fading into obscurity, she blazed her own trail. Offstage, Yeri has cultivated a gentle yet determined persona, an artist unafraid to talk about mental health, write poetry, be weird in the best possible way. And over the years, that sense of personal identity has led to something rare in the K-pop world: authenticity. But with that authenticity comes whispers. Whispers, fan theories, and eventually full-blown conversations about Yeri's love life and whether it follows the traditional script. It all started with subtle signals that only the most observant fans picked up on. Yeri's deep relationship with Kim Se-ron, for example, made headlines. The two were nearly inseparable in the late 2010s, traveling together, vacationing overseas, and appearing in affectionate selfies that often felt more intimate than friendship. In one popular post, Se-ron captioned a photo of Yeri, "my soulmate." It wasn't just the words, it was the tone, the way Yeri responded, always and forever, along with a heart emoji. Some fans saw it as sisterly, others sensed a deeper story beneath the surface. Then, fans also pointed to Yeri's unusually close interactions with female stylists and staff. Videos showed her leaning her head on a woman's shoulder, her arms around her, sharing long, comfortable silences. And while none of this confirms anything, it does build a narrative, one layered with sentimentality, subtle rebellion, and the courage to live a little differently. To this day, Yeri has yet to directly comment on any of the rumors, and perhaps that silence is the most powerful part of the story. In a world that demands explanation, Yeri chooses to let her art and energy speak for herself beyond labels. She's written lyrics that allude to a desire to move beyond the conventional, starred in projects that explore identity, and maintained a kind of intentional ambiguity. Could Yeri represent something more than a single story? Perhaps an entire generation of K-pop idols learning to be free, in private and in public? Regardless of whether any of these speculations are true, Yeri has become a soft icon for queer fans across Asia. Not because she came out, but because she reminded them that it's okay to be different. And maybe that's the most important love story of all. What happens when mystery meets music and silence becomes the loudest answer? For years, Blackpink's Rosé has stood at the crossroads of elegance and mystery. With her vocals and striking beauty, she's quickly become more than just an idol. She's also a muse. But beyond the global tours and Chanel campaigns lies a quieter allure: her deep, intimate relationships with women, especially in a world where every smile, every gesture is captured frame by frame. Fans have long speculated about her relationships with a number of female artists and influencers, from the soft, lingering glances captured in her vlogs to the social media posts that feel a little too poetic. There's something unspoken, yet deeply present. A moment that ignited? A now archived live stream shows Rosé leaning gently into a close female friend, whispering, "We always understand each other," without saying anything. As expected, the internet went crazy. But the whispers didn't stop there. In 2023, Rosé was frequently spotted with female designer Yuna, co-founder of Ambush, a creative agency known for celebrating queer expression. The two were photographed multiple times at intimate gatherings and fashion events, not just together, but wearing the same outfits, finishing each other's sentences in interviews, and even holding hands while leaving Paris Fashion Week. Fans on platforms like Twitter and TikTok began connecting the dots. Edits of the duo began to circulate, and a now viral thread titled "Rosé's Real Muse" explored how many of Rosé's recent lyrics allude to longing, heartbreak, and a kind of love that doesn't feel right to everyone. None of this proves anything, of course, and Rosé herself has never labeled her identity. But that's exactly what makes the speculation so powerful. It exists in the space between silence and song. In an industry still shaped by conservative expectations, even a whisper can feel like a scream. And maybe that's the point. Maybe the truth isn't about confirming or denying, but about honoring the freedom to exist without explanation. We don't claim to know Rosé's story. We just listen to what's there. The tension, the beauty, the quiet rebellion of not fitting into a mold. If you've ever loved someone you weren't supposed to, you probably understand why stories like this resonate. So what do you think? Is love always about labels? Or is it just love? Let us know in the comments, because we're not here to judge, we're here to feel and celebrate love in all its forms. What if the most talked about idol in a room full of cameras is hiding something important? ITZY's Shin Yuna has always been the girl who shines too bright to ignore. The visual queen, the youngest member who somehow captures every lens as if she was born to do it. But fame has a way of turning whispers into headlines, and lately, Yuna has found herself at the center of conversations she's never publicly participated in. Over the years, fans have begun to notice patterns. The way she looks at female dancers in behind-the-scenes clips, the intimate tone she uses when she talks about love in interviews, and perhaps most of all, the quiet bond she shares with one female idol in particular. In early 2023, a fan cam captured Yuna backstage with Wonyoung from I-DLE, whispering, holding hands, even gently resting her head on Wonyoung's shoulder when they thought the cameras were off. The clip went viral within hours. Fans flooded Twitter and TikTok with slow-motion edits, zoomed-in looks, and captioned heartbeats. The phrase Yuna Wonyoung trended for 3 days straight, not just in Korea, but also in the United States, the Philippines, and Brazil. Neither idol commented directly, but their interactions only fueled speculation. During a live stream, when asked if she preferred boys or girls, Yuna smiled softly and said, "I think I just like people who understand me." That line alone became a quote on stan accounts and LGBTQ+ fan pages, stirring hope and curiosity. Was it a hint or just a cautious move? No, Yuna hasn't come out. She hasn't confirmed it, nor has she denied it. But maybe that's the point. Maybe in a world that demands labels, her silence is more powerful than any statement. Her story, true or not, has resonated with queer teens around the world who see something familiar in her eyes, something unspoken, something tender. And whether it's friendship, love, or something in between, her energy has created space. A space where fans feel safe to imagine, to feel seen, to celebrate the quiet beauty of queer connections in K-pop without fear. And that's powerful in itself. We don't claim to define anyone's truth. We simply celebrate the many shades of love that exist outside the spotlight. What do you think of Yuna's quiet light? Are these just light moments between friends? Or are they a silent echo of something deeper? Leave your thoughts below. Let's build a kind, open conversation together. From the moment Tiffany Young stepped onto the stage as a member of Girls' Generation, she was more than just another K-pop idol. She was a force of charisma, elegance, and raw emotion. Born and raised in California before moving to South Korea to pursue her dreams, Tiffany has always been a blend of East and West. Her bold fashion choices, fearless American energy, and genuine love for her fans, especially those in the LGBTQ+ community, have made her stand out even in a sea of global stars. She's worn rainbow flags to fan meets. She's attended Pride events in Los Angeles, and in a world where silence is often the safer path, Tiffany has chosen something else, a subtle presence. But with that presence comes whispers. There are whispers that perhaps her support for the queer community is more than just allyship, it's personal support. In interviews, Tiffany has often used gender-neutral language when talking about love. "I believe in love in all its forms," she shared during a 2020 Q&A with international fans. She has spoken passionately about people who have to hide their true selves just to survive. At Seoul Fashion Week in 2023, she appeared hand-in-hand with a female model-turned-designer, and although the media called it a collaborative outing, fans noticed the intimacy, the eye contact, the soft laughter, the light touches. The internet exploded with speculation. Was this just artistic expression? Or was Tiffany slowly creating a new narrative in her own way? Some point to her American solo period, when her lyrics hinted at the blurred lines between desire, identity, and nostalgia. On Runaway, the line, "If I let you in, would you stay the night?" isn't gender-specific. It's just desire. It's just a question. And fans kept asking, is Tiffany queer? Or is she simply reflecting the stories of the people she loves? But perhaps the most powerful thing Tiffany has ever done is not confirm anything, nor deny it. She lets the world wonder. And in that mysterious space, many queer fans have found authentic, unforced, liberating representation. Because Tiffany doesn't perform queerness. She simply lives in a way that makes room for it. Whether she comes out or not probably doesn't matter. Her music, her public gestures, her friendships, they all say something louder than any record label could. Love is love, and love doesn't need to be shouted to be heard. And perhaps that's the quiet strength Tiffany brings to a generation still learning to love themselves, out loud or in silence. And speaking of quiet strength, let's talk about someone who used to dance in the background, but is now reclaiming her space in the spotlight, GFriend's Yerin. What if the real story behind her bright smile is one the industry never dares to tell? On the outside, Yerin is the quintessential K-pop sweet girl. Debuting with GFriend in 2015, she lit up the stage with her sunny smile, bright, warm, and constant. Her image was innocent, playful, even childish at times. But fans who looked closer began to notice something else. Behind that polished exterior, there was a quiet defiance. She didn't flirt with the camera the way some idols are trained to. She wasn't overly feminine or trying to please the male gaze. Instead, Yerin existed in a free space, on her own terms. And over the years, that subtle independence has given rise to something bigger: whispers. The loudest whispers have centered on one relationship in particular, her relationship with So-won, the former leader of GFriend. While many girl groups flaunt their affection, Yerin and So-won's relationship often crosses the line from sweet to sexy. Fans have created dozens of compilations showing them holding hands in private moments, leaning into each other's touch, even when the cameras aren't rolling. In 2019, during a V-Live broadcast, Yerin called So-won "my person," in a tone that took everyone by surprise. Then there's the tattoo, a small, delicate design that she revealed years later was identical to So-won's. Coincidence? Maybe. But fans, especially queer fans, see it as something bigger. They don't need a confession. They see the story in the silence. Since going solo, Yerin has kept it private, deliberately so. She rarely comments on her personal life, but her art tells its own story. The lyrics, which speak of longing, isolation, and deep emotional connection, have left many wondering if there's something more beneath the surface. Yet she's never confirmed or denied the rumors. And maybe she doesn't need to. Because sometimes the most powerful love stories aren't told, they're felt. Perhaps that's why LGBTQ+ fans continue to see Yerin not as someone pigeonholed by a label, but as a symbol of quiet, beautiful resistance. The kind of resistance that simply says, "I am who I am." What about you? When you watch Yerin's story, what do you feel? We're not here to define anyone. We're here to explore, reflect, and share the beauty of all kinds of connection. Thank you for joining us on this journey, and if this story resonates with you, let us know what you think. We're building a space where all love is seen and all voices are welcome. In the spotlight, Miyeon is captivating. With her angelic looks and soaring voice, she has cemented her place as one of K-pop's most beloved female idols. But behind every flawless stage performance and perfect photo op, there is a quieter story, one that the media often avoids. In fan forums, reaction threads, and slow-motion fan cams, the whispers continue. Not about the scandal, but about something more private. Is Miyeon part of K-pop's hidden queer narrative? The question has haunted her for years, not because she has come out as such, but because of the way she has quietly danced close to the edge of the norm and never backed down. One of the biggest waves of speculation began in 2021 when Miyeon's onstage chemistry with other female idols, particularly fellow group members Yuki and Shuhwa, became the subject of fan obsession. In the group's reality shows and behind-the-scenes content, fans noticed an undeniable closeness. Affectionate glances, playful touches, and private jokes that seemed more tender than friendly. A clip that's now gone viral shows Miyeon gently brushing Shuhwa's hair behind her ear while whispering something that makes them both blush. Fans cut it, slowed it down, analyzed her lip movements, and titled the video, "When Friendship Feels Like There's Something More." In interviews, Miyeon's constant use of gender-neutral language when talking about love has been empowering. When asked about her ideal type, she smiled shyly and replied, "I think I would fall in love with someone who understands me deeply. It doesn't matter who they are." That line alone has endured in countless LGBTQ+ fan edits, not because it confirms anything, but because it feels like a door she refuses to close. To be clear, Miyeon has never publicly confirmed anything. She has never worn a label, and she doesn't have to. What matters is the message she leaves behind, intentional or not. In a world where K-pop idols are often forced to maintain stereotypical images, her subtle defiance, her intimacy with women, her emotional openness, her resistance to traditional expectations of idol love is pretty radical. Perhaps the rumors say more about her hunger for representation than about Miyeon herself. But isn't that the point? She's become an icon for young fans, especially queer ones, who see a kind of quiet solidarity in her. So as we celebrate her artistry, perhaps we're also celebrating the possibility that love, in all its forms, deserves a space to exist, even in the tightly curated world of K-pop. What about you? Does anything about Miyeon's story resonate with yours? Share your thoughts below. We just believe that every kind of love deserves a story, and yours could be next. In a world where actresses are often pigeonholed by image, Tae-ri has always been different. Known for her mesmerizing performance in The Handmaiden, she not only acted but changed the energy of the entire screen. Audiences around the world were captivated by the raw sensuality and emotional vulnerability she brought to the role of Sung-kyung, a character caught in a strange web of desire and resistance. And for many, that performance was more than just acting. It felt lived in, authentic, and personal. It didn't take long for rumors to start circulating, not just because of the subject matter of the film, but also because of Tae-ri's silence. In an industry obsessed with labeling, she was never in a hurry to explain herself. And sometimes, that silence spoke louder than words. Over the years, fans have picked up on subtle clues. Behind-the-scenes footage of The Handmaiden shows Tae-ri and co-star Kim Min-hee sharing quiet moments, their chemistry shining through even after the cameras stop rolling. At press events, their gazes linger, and Tae-ri often calls Min-hee the person who changed the way I understand connection, has raised eyebrows and fluttered hearts on both sides. Then there are her off-screen choices, supporting queer-themed literature, attending screenings of films about LGBTQ+ stories, and most notably, her participation in the Seoul Feminist Film Festival, an event known for amplifying diverse voices, including queer women in cinema. When asked about her love life, Tae-ri has always been evasive, not making any statements, just smiling softly and once quietly saying, "I don't think love has a shape." For some, these are mere coincidences. For others, they feel like quiet affirmations, a pattern of presence, not performance. Whether Tae-ri is queer, an ally, or simply drawn to the fluidity of love and art, she remains one of South Korea's most compelling and emotionally complex stars. Her refusal to label herself may just be her boldest statement yet. Because in an industry where being different is still risky, her authenticity shines brighter than any headline. And maybe that's the point. Maybe true beauty isn't in the answers, it's in the courage to leave the question open. When you watch The Handmaiden or see Tae-ri speak, do you feel that? That quiet strength? that wild tenderness? We're not here to label, we're here to celebrate all forms of love. Leave your thoughts below. Let's keep the conversation open, respectful, and honest. Every story, rumor, or truth deserves to be told with kindness. In the glamorous world of Korean entertainment, few stars are as alluring as Han So-hee. She has long been praised for breaking the mold. But beyond her talent and visual appeal, there's something else. A subtle, lingering question that fans keep asking. In 2022, rumors began to swirl when Han So-hee posted a series of intimate photos with actress Shin Hyun-bin, her co-star in Soundtrack. The photos weren't just your average behind-the-scenes snaps. They were tender, warm. Some would even call them romantic. One photo shows Han gently leaning her head on Shin's shoulder, their faces close together, eyes soft. There was no caption, but no caption was needed. It said it all. As fans scrutinized every look, every caption, every shared bracelet, and mirrored outfit, speculation began to explode online. Netizens began digging up interactions from older awards shows and events, connecting the dots that might have been nothing or maybe everything. Han So-hee, known for her sharp wit and rebellious independence, never denied the rumors, nor did she confirm them. Instead, she shared more ambiguous, emotional content, like dark, artistic photos, cryptic song lyrics, and poetic captions about love transcending form or label. In a 2023 interview, when asked about relationships, Han simply replied, "I value connections, not categories." For many, that wasn't a public statement, but it wasn't a denial either. It's an invitation to think more deeply about love and who gets to define it. What makes the rumors about Han So-hee so powerful isn't the scandal itself. It's the way it reflects the lives of so many people who live in the shadows. People who love quietly. People who don't announce it in press releases. Whether these rumors are true or not, they've sparked something larger. A conversation about the freedom, fluidity, and quiet beauty of same-sex attraction in a culture still learning to accept it. Maybe that's the point. Maybe the story isn't about who she loves, but how bravely she lives. After watching this video, ask yourself, not just who Han So-hee is, but what it means for a woman to dare to be vulnerable, emotional, and undefined in front of millions of people. And if love is truly love, does it always need a label? If you've ever felt like the unsaid sometimes resonates the most, leave your feelings below. We don't give you answers. We just tell stories that make you think. And who knows, maybe in that ambiguity, you'll see a little bit of yourself. Moon Ga-young has always stood out, not for her flamboyant gestures or loud declarations, but for her quiet depth. Whether she's playing the heartbreakingly vulnerable Lim Joo-kyung in True Beauty, or the unpredictable yet captivating Woo-yo in Link, Eat, Love, Kill, there's something beneath the surface that makes audiences pay attention. It's that emotional intelligence, that almost unspoken intimacy, that has made her a favorite among fans who feel different, especially queer fans. They see something in her performances, the soft glances, the deliberate silences, the emotional connection to her female characters that often feels more than just acting. And that's where the questions begin. Over the past few years, rumors about Moon Ga-young have begun to emerge, not through controversy, but through observation. Some of the most talked about moments are in interviews and behind-the-scenes clips of her with her close friend Kim Hye-yoon. The way they joke, hug, whisper, and exchange intimate glances isn't unusual between actresses, but there's something about their energy that feels different. Fans have noticed Ga-young glancing at Hye-yoon with a tenderness that sparked online discussions on Twitter, YouTube, and TikTok. Then there are her comments in interviews, vague, open, and emotional. In one instance, when asked about her ideal type, she smiles and says, "Someone I feel safe with." Gender doesn't define that. It's not a statement, but it's not a denial either. And then there's her fashion. She attends events that promote gender-neutral styles, her clear support for gay designers, the way she consistently breaks rigid Korean feminine norms. She doesn't shout, but she signals. And for those watching closely, that message rings loud enough. Maybe that's what makes Moon Ga-young so appealing. She doesn't fit into a mold. She's not the kind of star who explains every rumor or silences every whisper. Instead, she creates space. Space for love that looks different, for emotions that blur the lines. Whether intentional or not, her aura has become a quiet haven for queer fans who feel invisible in mainstream Korean dramas. Is she queer? We don't know. But in a world still learning to accept love in all its forms, perhaps the question isn't who she loves, but how she loves. With gentleness, honesty, and room for interpretation. How does it feel to watch her? Is there something stirring that can't be explained? Leave your thoughts in the comments, and we'll keep telling stories like this to remind you. All kinds of love deserve to be seen. What if the most compelling love stories in Korean entertainment were the ones never spoken out loud? In a world where silence often says more than words, actress Kim Da-mi has sparked whispers, curiosity, and quiet hope. Best known for her bold, emotionally raw performances in Itaewon Class and The Witch, Kim Da-mi isn't your typical K-drama darling. She plays outsiders, rebels, women who question everything, including the rules about who you're allowed to love. And lately, fans have started to wonder if that same quiet rebellion might extend beyond the screen. Could it be that Kim Da-mi, so skilled at portraying complex intimacy, is reflecting a truth of her own? Over the years, online communities have picked up on something more than acting. It started with her on-screen chemistry, particularly with actress Go Min-si, her co-star in The Witch Part 1. Behind-the-scenes clips showed a bond that felt unusually tender. Long gazes, shared inside jokes, soft touches that lingered just a second too long. And then came the Instagram stories. Matching captions, matching bracelets. A now-deleted post where Da-mi gently brushed Go Min-si's hair aside before a red carpet event, recorded and circulated by fans who believed the moment was too intimate to ignore. Even during interviews, when asked about romantic relationships, Kim Da-mi tends to respond vaguely, often shifting the focus to connection rather than gender. In one 2023 magazine interview, when pressed on her ideal type, she simply said, "Someone who understands me deeply, someone I feel safe with. Not a he, not a she, just someone." Now, none of this confirms anything, and that's the point. This story isn't about labels, it's about longing, about how queer love, when unspoken, can still echo louder than a declaration. For many LGBTQ+ viewers, Kim Da-mi represents something rare, a public figure who allows space for ambiguity, who doesn't deny, doesn't over-explain. She simply exists, powerfully and quietly, in a space where love might not follow a script. Watching her, we're reminded that maybe the most revolutionary act is to just be. And maybe, just maybe, that's enough to change the conversation. We don't claim to know the truth. We simply celebrate the beauty of questions and the freedom to love without needing answers. Leave us your thoughts. What do you feel when you see Kim Da-mi on screen? We believe every story, spoken or silent, deserves a place. Lee Sung-kyung always shines on screen with her angelic beauty, graceful demeanor, and charisma that lingers long after she leaves the set. But behind the polished image of the rising actress lies a mystery that fans can't help but wonder about. Over the years, Lee has shared unusually close friendships with female celebrities, most notably Park Shin-hye. From affectionate hugs in candid photos to flirty Instagram comments like "You're mine," their closeness goes far beyond the industry norm. Fans aren't seeing it coming. The chemistry seems so real, so palpable, and maybe even romantic. Is it just a deep friendship, or is there something unspoken between them? She has never publicly addressed her gender orientation, because sometimes silence speaks volumes. In show red carpet looks and behind-the-scenes clips, she's often caught exchanging playful yet tender glances with her female co-stars. One moment that took fans by surprise was on Knowing Bros, when she played a fake same-sex couple so naturally that even the hosts blushed. No awkwardness, no hesitation, just ease, laughter, and a strange sense of authenticity. Online, international fans began asking the same question: why does it feel so authentic? For many in the LGBTQ+ community, Lee has become a silent icon, someone who makes same-sex love seem effortless, natural, and beautiful. To this day, Lee Sung-kyung has yet to confirm or deny any of the rumors, and she probably never will. Maybe she doesn't believe in labeling love or herself. Her silence is not a rejection. It is an invitation to see love in all its forms, without explanation. Whether or not she identifies with a particular label, her actions speak louder than any statement. Her tenderness, her openness, her refusal to explain it all, these things matter. They offer hope. They offer representation. And most of all, they remind us that love, real, meaningful, human love, needs no justification. It just is. We don't set out to prove or define anyone's identity. That's not our goal. What we aim to do is share the beauty of connection, the tender, ambiguous moments that make us believe that love can exist anywhere. Whether you see it as friendship or something more, we invite you to feel, reflect, and most of all, respect. Because sometimes the most powerful stories are the ones hidden between the lines. Hye-ri first conquered South Korea not with controversy, but with kindness. From her vibrant breakthrough in Reply 1988 to her powerful stage presence in Girls' Day, Hye-ri has always exuded a mix of humor and heart that makes her relatable. More than just another K-pop idol or actress, she has become a symbol of natural charm, genuine emotion, and perhaps most surprisingly, a queer icon to some. And while she has never spoken publicly about her sexuality, moments throughout her career have left fans, especially those in the LGBTQ+ community, asking with increasing curiosity, is there something behind her closeness with certain female stars? It's not just a photo or a moment. It's years of affectionate gestures, long-standing friendships that just feel a little more. Her relationship with Red Velvet's Yeri has been the subject of fan speculation since 2020. The two often post cozy selfies, exchange heart emojis, and call each other nicknames like soulmate and mine. In a society where female friendships are often romanticized, some might call it harmless fan service. But fans online have pointed out consistent motifs. Intimate dinners, surprise birthdays, holding hands in off-camera moments, and emotional tributes in interviews. In 2022, after Yeri publicly called Hye-ri the person who taught me how to love myself, the speculation reached new heights. Neither confirmed nor denied, their silence became its own answer. Not proof, just poetry. Whether it's true, rumored, or simply a deep affection between two women, one thing is certain. Hye-ri has given many queer fans a warm face in an industry that often demands silence. Her choices, intentional or not, have created a space for same-sex admiration to be expressed openly, gently, and safely. In a world that still punishes difference, the idea that love can exist quietly, without labels, is a powerful message. And maybe that's the magic of it. You don't have to come out to inspire. Sometimes, just being yourself, holding someone's hand a little tighter, or choosing to stay close over the years, that's enough to make people feel seen. Have you ever looked into a gaze that told a story, but was never given a name? That could be Hye-ri. Quiet in words, yet loud in meaning. She may never have said it out loud, but in her silence, countless hearts heard themselves. Tell us how it made you feel. We honor every kind of love, spoken, silent, or simply felt. Thank you for joining us in this honest, emotional look at the secret relationships and bold rumors surrounding Korea's most radiant women. We don't assert facts, we explore the beauty of possibility. Love doesn't always need a label, and neither do the people who feel it. If this story resonates with you, we invite you to subscribe, share, and explore more with us. And for our most demanding viewers, your feedback matters. Help us grow, so we can continue to celebrate all forms of love with even more depth, honesty, and heart.